Hello, welcome to Convict Inc. I'm your host, Robert Rosso. Today I'm going to talk about my first couple days at USP Lewisburg. I have talked about, my arrival at Leavenworth, and I just thought of somebody from Boston. So really, that's why I'm doing this. A guy named Stevie Balsam. So anyway, here's the deal. So in around 2001, I joined a gang called the Dirty White Boys at USP Leavenworth. There was problems between the Dirty White Boys and a gang called the Arms and other people on the compound, which eventually led to the Dirty White Boys getting transferred. And that was all of us in that compound. There was no DWBs in Leavenworth for a minute after that. So the former warden, a guy by the name of Mickey Ray, who became the regional director of the Northeastern region, which included Lewisburg and Allenwood, came to the prison one day and he hand selected five or six of the Dirty White Boys he wanted to be sent to the Northeastern region to be under his control. Furthermore, what he really had was a new special management unit opening up at Lewisburg. They had one block called G Block, and they didn't have any white guys in there. And he figured for sure that we'd go there and blow it. So that's why he sent 5 to Lewisburg and 1 to Atlanta. So we leave. There were 6 of us that left Lewisburg, and we were brought to the Kansas City airport. And that's where there was a camera crew from, I'm not sure if it was a History Channel. It's been played in a lot of different places, but there's an episode or show called Transporting Dangerous Cargo, or the U.S. Marshal Service Transporting Dangerous Cargo. And included in that was a clip about prisoners being transferred on Con Air to Oklahoma City Transfer Center. And all of us DWBs are in that. It's still out there somewhere. I haven't seen it in ages, not even since I've been out. Anyway, so from there we go to Oklahoma City. Stay in Oklahoma City a couple days, wasn't very long, and off to Lewisburg we go. There was 5 of us. That's me, No-Nose Rick, Brown, Jeremy Itis, Scott Tolley, aka Scooter, and Billy Weston. So when we land, there's 2-man cells. So I always hated a cellie in the shoe. So those 4 celled up together. I stayed by myself. And I remember at that time, Lewisburg was rebuilding their special housing unit or shoe. What they were using for their special housing unit was a place called B Block. It was tore up, man. They bring us in there and I'm put downstairs, and it literally started snowing that night. And I'm going to tell you something. So you can go back and look at weather reports if you want. I recall from 2002, the end of it, till almost spring at least, there was snow on the ground there the whole time. So it snows that night. The window in my cell is broken. There is no window. This is an old prison, by the way. Windows, they pop out, if I remember correctly, but there was no window. It was freezing in there. Eventually, within a couple days, they sent us upstairs. So we were put downstairs first. They put me in a cell with the guy named Stevie Balsam. Stevie Balsam's out of, is he New Bedford? He's Boston. I don't know which area he's from. Bank robber. I know at first he didn't want to really be in the cell with somebody, gang member or whatever. We were the first white gang members to land at Lewisburg. This is into 2002, since the DC AB murders of 97 and 98. So it was a little bit, it was new for the prison. And Stevie, I can tell he wasn't thrilled. But however, we did get along. But let me say something about Stevie first. Stevie was a guy who had a girl, I think it was his wife, that stayed with him. He was in prison 10 years at the time. He had like 11, I want to say 10 or 11 to go. And I remember him, all he did all day was write letters to her and I don't know what she did on the street, but this girl wrote him books back, and he had been incarcerated 10 years at this time. That says something. I do know he got out and things went south with them. I don't know nothing else about him. But he was all about his girl. And I will say that he was really not trying to break any rules. Yes, he was in the hole for getting high. He was worried about the good time, worried about his communication and the phone. And I say this because when I went to the shoe back then, first thought was, let's get wine material. We're making hooch. It was a part of what we did at Leavenworth. I did not know at that time in Lewisburg, people weren't making hooch in the shoe like that. They had an AW there by the name of Sneezik, and this guy thought he was, and in many cases he did. He out-trumped the wardens. He stayed there for like 7 years. He was all about making sure that the wrong people didn't come on that compound. So if you were kind of a threat or somebody on that compound, they didn't want you there. For any given reason, they get rid of people that might stand up, and I'm not saying there's a lot of Italian guys there. I'm just saying they're not stand up, might cause problems. Okay, guys that might cause problems. That's the way to put it. So Sneezik was kicking him out of there. Now they didn't have a choice with us. This came from the regional director. It was a direct call from the regional director from Mickey Ray. So Sneezik was not happy about it. Anyway, what they do at Lewisburg when you land there is that they make you wait about 3 to 4 weeks, and you go in front of a review called Quay. Quay is like a team review. You have the heads of every department, including warden, associate warden, unit managers. I mean, it's a big deal. They make you strip to your boxers and they look for tattoos. They do it as a way to demean and belittle you and or humiliate you. And then they ask you a bunch of stupid questions. Now, what they also do is they keep people, or they kept people back there because once somebody's in that shoe, everybody in the compound knows they're there. And then they wait for the rumors on the compound to see if that person's going to get hurt or is a threat or whatever. And then, of course, snitches will tell them. Getting back to Stevie. So I get in there and I immediately start gathering material for wine. And my brothers, the other 4, were sending me stuff. I told them that I'd make the wine, you know. And I did. Stevie was not happy in the beginning. As a matter of fact, what happens when you make wine and it kicks is the bag blows up. You put it in a trash bag. The bag blows up and you've constantly got to open the bag and release the gas. You keep it tied. You can do a little breathing tube and all this other stuff. Yes, that's great. But in general, you want to, if you're going to burp it, they call it, burp the bag. What happens is you want to wait till the cops do rounds because the tear will stink, especially in a closed confined area like a special housing unit or a cell block. So it took some days. It was almost a week. It went slow. It was cold outside. We didn't have a water in the cell like that to keep the bag warm, which is something that's needed especially for speed to expedite the process. And one day, as it's cooking more, we wake up in the morning, and under the bed is where that bag was, and it blew up. Have you ever seen those little kids' toys that they bounce, these big balls, and they bounce around with? I know they used to have them back in the day when I was a kid. I don't know if they still do. Didn't they have little animal heads or something? The bag was as big as that, and we could not get it out from under the bunk. It was stuck under the bunk. I mean, we were pulling, we were doing everything. Eventually, we had to slice it, drain, burp it, and we took it down that night. And Stevie didn't complain too much after, we started drinking and stuff. But the guards absolutely knew we were drinking. They let it go. And I remember the name, Candelera. One of the Candeleras. I just remember the CO's names. And we weren't allowed to do it again. They were on us after that. Again, so this is just a short one. Those are my first few days at Lewisburg. Also, so then I got out and I went to F Block. I will say this. When they let us out in the compound, they would not let any dirty white boys live together. So there was only 5 of us in the beginning. After around 2005, there was over 12, 17, something like that. So we started living together. But they really had their foot on our necks in the beginning. And A.W. Sneesic made sure we all had jobs locked behind cages, meaning the laundry, CMS, where you're confined and you have to count you and stuff like that. But just a quick little story. I guess it was really actually more about Stevie, but my first few days at Lewisburg and why we got there. It is Tuesday. I will have to go shower or take a bath and shave. And tonight at 6 o'clock Eastern, unless it's 7 Eastern, but 6, I'm going to go. I will post it this afternoon. I will have a special guest on. His name's Eon, and he's the host of the show DC Blacks. Join us. Bye.